Dr. Elara Quinn stood at the edge of the icy expanse, her breath visible in the frigid Alaskan air. The landscape was barren, silent, and unnerving, vast, just the way she liked it. A seasoned xenobiologist, Elara had spent her career studying life beyond Earth, but this particular expedition had a pull she couldn't resist. The signals had started 3 weeks ago, a cryptic set of pulses emanating from beneath the ice, detected by satellite network. The team she was now part of, led by the ambitious Captain Ronan Hale, was on the cusp of uncovering something that could change the course of human history. Hale, a rugged and confident leader, had spent years preparing for this moment. To him, this wasn't just another mission, it was a chance to make his mark. As he briefed the team inside the warmth of the camp, he didn't just speak of discovery. His words hinted at power, control, and the promise of groundbreaking revelations that could secure his place in history. His eyes never strayed from the horizon, the same horizon Elara had been staring at for far too long. The team's objective was clear. They would locate the source of the signal and investigate. For Elara, this meant a treasure trove of untouched knowledge, perhaps even a new form of life. The rest of the crew, however, was mostly here to facilitate Hale's vision. They traveled in specialized snow vehicles, navigating the treacherous terrain toward the coordinates pinpointed by the mysterious signal. The journey took several days. As the cold gripped them, Elara found herself engrossed in her research, studying the transmission logs and cross-referencing them with known frequencies from nearby satellites. This wasn't random noise, it was deliberate, purposeful, and coded. Her excitement grew with each passing hour. She had long suspected that humanity wasn't alone in the universe, but to find evidence right here on Earth, buried beneath the ice, was a different kind of revelation. They were on the edge of something monumental. When they arrived at the coordinates, the team stopped. Before them lay an enormous structure, half buried in the frozen earth. An ancient underground vault. It seemed to pulse with an energy of its own, faint but unmistakable. Hale wasted no time. Get to work, he ordered, signaling his team to break through the ice. The expedition's diggers and engineers got to work, cutting into the ice with high-powered drills. Elara stepped closer, heart pounding, sensing that they were about to discover something far more significant than they had anticipated. The crack of ice and the whirring of the machinery filled the air, but in the midst of it all, Elara's mind raced ahead, imagining the possibilities. The ancient structure buried for centuries held the answers to questions humanity had never dared to ask. Could this be the home of a lost civilization, or something more? Finally, after what felt like hours, the ice parted enough to reveal a massive vault door, ornate and covered in symbols neither Elara nor anyone else could understand. "Let's open it," Hale said, eyes gleaming with anticipation. The team worked together, and with a collective push, the door groaned open, revealing an eerily quiet chamber inside. It was impossible to fathom, yet unmistakable. Preserved bodies, some humanoid in shape, others not, lying in a cryostasis pod. The air was heavy with the chill of ancient technology and the smell of 1,000 years of slumber. Elara's pulse quickened. This was it. They had found it. The chamber was like a tomb, but to Elara, it was a holy place of discovery. She moved through the rows of cryostasis pods, each containing a body encased in clear fluid, their features faintly illuminated by the soft blue light that emanated from the walls. Her heart raced as she examined the beings within. Some had 4 limbs, others only 3. Their features were a mix of human and alien, and they seemed to be preserved in a state of suspended animation for millennia. "This is unbelievable," Elara whispered to herself, moving closer to one of the pods. This one was different. Its occupant had long flowing hair, an ethereal quality about her. Elara recognized that this being was far more than just a specimen. She felt it deep within her. She placed her hand on the pod, and the sensation was immediate. A faint pulse of energy, like an electrical current running through her fingers. Behind her, the rest of the team was still taking inventory of the technology around them, but Captain Hale, ever the opportunist, was already looking ahead. "Start extracting data and see what this technology can do for us." Elara turned to him sharply. "No, we need to understand what we're dealing with first. We don't know what this is," but Hale wasn't one to wait. His eyes narrowed with determination. "We'll understand more once we have control over it." Elara sighed, frustrated, but unwilling to let her caution stop the investigation. She returned to the pod and had drawn her attention, using the technology to initiate the waking process. A hum filled the chamber as the fluid began to drain from the pod. Slowly, the being's eyes fluttered open. The figure inside the pod, Kaya, as Elara would later learn, had stirred. The alien woman blinked, confused, but then seemed to settle, looking directly at Elara. There was a strange intelligence in her eyes. For a moment, Elara hesitated, unsure of what to say, but then Kaya's voice, like a whisper on the wind, echoed in her mind. "You are the ones who awoke me." Alara's heart skipped a beat. Kaya's form was delicate yet strong. She was humanoid, but distinctly alien. Her skin was translucent, almost glowing in the dim light of the chamber. Kaya, in their exchange, had changed her skin, almost as if to blend in and not seem foreign. Through a silent exchange of thoughts, Kaya conveyed that she had been a part of an ancient race entrusted with guarding something powerful, something that, if awakened, could bring great destruction. The signals they were following were not a call for help, but a warning. The weapon they had built, buried beneath the ice, was meant to protect their civilization, but it had been dormant for too long. Alara's pulse quickened as she pieced together the fragmented information. The weapon, if activated, could obliterate the surface world. The signals were meant to warn against it. Kaya, the first of her kind to awaken, had knowledge of how to stop it. As days passed, Elara grew closer to Kaya, learning from her what had happened to the ancient civilization. The race had once ruled an advanced world, but their hubris led them to create a weapon that could terraform entire planets. The device they had built was capable of destroying ecosystems, shifting tectonic plates, and changing atmospheric conditions. It was meant as a last resort, but it had fallen into disuse. Until now. Captain Hale, however, saw things differently. As the team continued to study the technology, Hale's interest shifted from understanding the device to exploiting it. He began speaking less about protection and more about what it could do for humanity. Hale wanted to harness its power, believing it could give humanity a new frontier. He envisioned the technology as a tool to reshape Earth's future, disregarding the warnings Elara and Kaya had uncovered. "I don't care about the consequences," Hale said one night, his voice low and intense. "This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Do you think we'll ever get another shot like this?" Alara's stomach churned. She tried to reason with him, but Hale was unyielding. "You don't understand. This weapon, it isn't meant to be used. It will destroy everything. Then we'll control it," Hale replied. "We'll make it work for us." Elara felt the weight of the situation. She was caught between her duty to protect humanity and the undeniable reality that Hale was pushing forward with a reckless agenda. The more she tried to uncover about the weapon, the more she realized that it was not just a tool, it was a sentient force, capable of defending itself. The technology, once dormant, now responded to Hale's ambitions. With Kaya's guidance, Elara discovered a way to access the weapon's main core. They were running out of time. The power of the weapon was slowly reawakening, and the dormant systems were beginning to reactivate. But as they ventured deeper into the facility to shut it down, Hale was already on his way to activate it. The facility had become a ticking time bomb. With each passing hour, the ground trembled as if the very earth beneath them was waking up from a long slumber. The weapon's power surged through the structure, lighting up the walls with an eerie glow. "We have to stop him," Elara whispered to Kaya as they raced down a narrow corridor, the hum of machinery reverberating in their ears. "If Hale gets control, it's over." Kaya nodded solemnly, her ethereal form moving like a shadow beside Elara. "The weapon is not just a tool, it's a consciousness, one that must never fall into the wrong hands." Together they navigated the labyrinth corridors of the facility. The deeper they went, the more intense the vibration became. Elara's mind raced as she considered the options. Hale was in the central chamber, likely preparing to initiate the device, but they had one chance left to prevent it. At the entrance of the core chamber, Elara paused. She could hear Hale's voice through the door, his words a mix of triumph and madness. It was clear he had already overridden the safety protocols, intent on bringing the weapon online. "We have to shut it down now," Elara said, her voice steady despite the fear building in her chest. With Kaya's help, they managed to bypass the security systems and enter the core chamber. Hale turned as they approached, a smug smile crossing his face. "You're too late," he said, his hand hovering over a control panel. But Elara wasn't willing to give up without a fight. With Kaya's guidance, she initiated the shutdown sequence, triggering a cascade of systems designed to deactivate the weapon. The battle of wills between Hale and Elara was intense, but in the end, Elara's determination and Kaya's ancient knowledge won out. The weapon began to power down, its energy dissipating into the surrounding environment. But Hale was not finished. In a final act of desperation, he lunged at the control panel, trying to override the shutdown sequence. It was then that Kaya intervened, using her powers to suppress the weapon's final surge. The power cut out. Silence followed. With the weapon deactivated and Hale neutralized, Elara and Kaya, who has now revealed her true form to Elara, knowing that she doesn't fear her, stood over the cold, silent remains of what had once been a weapon of unimaginable power. The weight of their actions hung heavy in the air, but there was a sense of relief that they had stopped the catastrophe. "I never meant for it to go this far," Elara said, her voice soft. Kaya nodded. "You did what was necessary." The journey had changed them both. Kaya, once an alien being with no ties to humanity, had come to understand the fragility of their world and her role in saving it. Elara, on the other hand, had learned the hard way that ambition could cloud even the best intentions. As they left the facility behind, Elara couldn't help but look back at the cold, dark entrance. The secrets they had uncovered would stay buried here, far from the reach of those who misuse them. Together, Elara and Kaya had forged an unbreakable bond, one built on mutual respect and understanding. They both knew the world was fragile, and they vowed to protect it, no matter the cost.